Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, May 11th, 2024, and I'm coming to you from a very foggy Coalport Junction out here in Lehigh Gorge State Park, just north of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, just south of Glen Onoko. And you can see from the bike, I'm biking today. Wait, now does that mean a day without trains for me? Come on, guys, you know better. Of course there's trains involved. I am doing the bike train. And I'm doing it with my good friend JP Videos. He's not here yet. I'll be meeting him in town in a little bit. But I'm actually filming two videos today. I'm filming this one that you're watching now, and then there will be a completely different video on Reading and Northern's own channel, and that one's going to be more of an information about the bike train type of video. This video that you're watching now is actually going to be more about exploring, though. If you guys know JP Videos, you know that he's an explorer. There are so many awesome things to see along the D&L Trail. That's the trail that you see between the road and the railroad right here. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be starting with a 2.5 or so mile bike ride down into the town of Jim Thorpe, loading this bike up in the bike train, riding 25 miles north to Whitehaven, and then biking back to this spot here. And along the way, Jay and I are going to explore waterfalls, railroad relics, anything cool that we find. But anyway, Jim Thorpe awaits me, and it's in that direction. So I am going to finish getting all my gear together, and I am going to bike into town. I'll see you there. Now this is one of my favorite parts of the ride coming up here. And it's literally the only uphill on this entire ride. We're going up a slight incline up to the Coalport Bridge. And the reason there even is an incline is this bridge was raised a couple of feet about 20-25 years ago to allow bigger freight trains to pass underneath. Both the Reading and Northern line and the Norfolk Southern line pass underneath the Coalport Bridge. And this bridge we're going on to now is the Nesquehoning Bridge. This is the #1 scenic highlight of the entire trip. You'll see a lot of bicyclists later pulled over here to take in the view. I'll stop now and give you a brief peek. Looks pretty mystical with the morning fog. But when the sun comes out later and the fog clears, if you look down the river looking south, you'll see East Jim Thorpe. That's the opposite side of the river is the train station, but it's still a very cool view. And looking north here, that is what we call the freight bridge on the Reading and Northern. That bridge was opened February 4th, 2020 to allow freight trains to have a continuous run from Reading to Pittston. And continuing down the trail, we've got the abandoned PQ switch tower. That was abandoned by the Central Railroad of New Jersey in 1972. There used to be a rail yard inside the Y here. It's now just a bunch of trees. And up here is Nesquehoning Junction. If you've followed my channel any length of time, these are sites you'll be familiar with. There is a lot more railroad history than you would think hidden in the trees here. And that's something I'd like to come back and cover in future videos. And here we're coming up on the Jim Thorpe Rail Yard. Crew's getting the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway train and the bike train ready for today. Got some extra cars parked off to the side. And when I drove in through Jim Thorpe, the OCS, that's the Office Car Special, Andy's private train, is in the station. That'll actually have to be moving out of the way so the bike train can come in. Hopefully I'll get to see it move and get to film it. It's something I really haven't filmed yet. And of course it's on the to-do list. Got some extra cars parked here for the busier days. There's the Appalachian Trail, my favorite open air car. Now when you pass the rail yard here, you want to make sure you stay to the left. If you're not a railroad employee, that rail yard is off limits. It's private property. And you'll want to stay safe anyway and just stay on the bike trail. This is nice here because if you started in Jim Thorpe, we're almost to Jim Thorpe. And you can see it's actually downhill. I'm just coasting right now. It is one of the nice things about this trip is the last couple miles are actually the easiest. It's got the most noticeable downward slope. So if you're feeling fatigued right at the end, take heart. Gets easier. Come out to the parking lot in just a minute and then it's paved. Definitely smooth sailing from there. And here we officially join the parking lot, even though I've been riding alongside it. This is the paved portion. Alright, so we got the OCS here in town. You can see the bike train at the station. Zoom in, that is the bike train getting ready to board. And I believe this truck is here to deliver fuel to the OCS. So won't be moving for a little bit. Probably not going to catch that today. Hey, how's it going, Bob? Hey, wish me luck today. Alright, there's some of my coworkers coming in. I'm not sure who's working on what train, but we'll find out. Morning. They said they're going to kick me off the train in Whitehaven, so I figured this would be easier than walking back.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? The 9:15 departure bike train is now ready for boarding. Please have your tickets ready and board only where there is an open door and step off for the uniformed car host present. Take your time and watch your step, and thank you for riding the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway.
And right on cue, here's JP.
I arrived.
All right, you all ready to ride today?
Yeah, ready for the first bike train in 2024.
Be my third trip on the bike train. How many times have you done it?
It's either my third or fourth. I can't
Okay.
remember. Definitely my third, though.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll see you, Jeff. We're going to board with Chip.
Okay, very good.
All right, and here's another pro tip for you. A lot of people board the front of the train and just grab the first seat they see, so it tends to fill up quick and get crowded. You can usually find more open seating if you go towards the back of the train. And we've got our car host Chip here. Chip's also a cyclist. He could get back here about 10 times quicker than I could, but he's working today. I'm riding. Take good care of us, Chip.
All right, I will, Jamie. All right now.
In the late 1870s, Mock Chunk was home to the Molly Maguires, a secret Irish organization who were accused of several murders of coal industry bosses in their quest for fair labor. On June 21st, 1877, 4 of the Mollys were hanged in the Carbon County Prison, known today as the Old Jail Museum. In 1954, the towns of Mock Chunk and East Mock Chunk merged to create the borough Jim Thorpe after Jim Thorpe's widow approached the towns looking for a final resting place for her husband. An agreement between the family and the two towns was finalized in May that year, and the site of the Olympians' final resting place began. To our Jim Thorpe station, where we'll have a layover and then return to Pittston around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Another good thing about this railroad, time at Bridgeport. Next, we'll pass under Interstate 80 on the approach to Whitehaven. We are now exiting the Lehigh Gorge State Park. The town of Whitehaven was named for Josiah White, co-founder of the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company. The Lehigh Canal began here and ran south to Easton, where the Lehigh Valley and C&J ran to the town on opposite sides of Main Street.
All right.
Okay.
You got it. Good
You
luck.
get that for me, Bob? Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Chip.
Take care. You got it. Enjoy.
All right, you're kicking me off the train.
You're ready to go.
Andy didn't recognize me this morning.
Thank you. I said,
All right, you got
she's
it.
going to mount that
Take care,
camera,
enjoy.
she's going to hurry up, and she's going
All
to
right,
film
take
on
care,
the way
enjoy,
back.
man.
You know it. I'll be
Take care.
catching you at the bridge.
All right, enjoy. See
Thank
ya.
you.
Oh, yeah. See, Jay's got the right idea. He was one of the last ones to load his bike, and he's got one of the first ones off. I got to wait a little while, I think. I got the gondolas mixed up. I was in this one. For some reason, I'm like thinking, okay, I'm standing here looking at the second one, but...
You could do about like 12 miles an hour.
Okay.
I just if I was recording that time.
Oh, and the bridge is here. Okay, so we've stopped at what looks like a pretty ordinary spot along the trail, but I want to show you something. And this is something we've seen from the train before, now we're seeing it from the trail point of view, are these old bridge abutments. And these bridge abutments, you can see that one there. You can see two more. Hopefully you can see them through the trees. This time of year it's already getting tough to see them. Those are for the Hayes Creek branch of the Lehigh Valley Railroad. And on Jay's last bike train trip, which I was not on, he found where the abutment is on this side, and he's going to show me that today. Okay, so these are the spans I just showed you here. There's 3 spans in the water, the abutment on the other side. And then there's this one. It's already getting a little hard to see with the trees, but it's towering pretty high above us here. And we're looking west right now, west-ish. I traced it out on openrailwaymap.org, and this comes in just north of Weatherly, Now that's an area we've gotten acquainted with recently through all the filming that I've done of the Norfolk Southern H66 going up to Weatherly. This came in just north of that station. And then further back in the woods, it's going to be really hard to see. I'll zoom in editing. That is the abutment on this side. And I'll link to Jay's video because he climbed up to the top of that on his last bike train trip and video. And that's a really neat abutment. It's like angled like a castle wall. I've never seen anything like it. You can see, we're not going to go up it today, but there's a trail in the woods that'll lead you back to that. So
do you want me to take your camera and just show them up closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. All right. We're going to give the camera to Jay, and he's going to go where no Jamie has gone before.
All right, I'll let you hold this. I'll be right back.
All right.
Pretty steep incline. Slippery leaves don't help, but after short ways you do arrive. As Jimmy was explaining, it is kind of zigzagged and kind of almost saw cut up there. Very unusual for a bridge abutment.
I'm not sure. It's my first time. He's done it before, though.
Over a mile.
It's over a mile. So this is a little detour that Jay found on his last bike train trip. And this goes back to a resort, somewhere that you can actually drive to, like west of here. And there's some interesting ruins in the woods, too.
There's two things here I want to show you.
Okay, so we've ridden just a tiny bit back on this trail, and Jay's going to show me a couple of the things that he found on his last adventure. I remember seeing them in the video and thinking I'd like to see them in person. Now, how cool is this, guys? This is almost like finding a lost civilization. So we've actually got...
There's the riders on the team.
There we go. We got the bicyclists are up there. That's where we came down from. We went down and around. And then you have this culvert down here. But the stream is flowing. You can tell that's a man-made retaining wall here going into the culvert. And that flows out into the Lehigh River.
Take it down, show them.
Yep, Jay's going to take you for a walk again. Better him than me, guys. You know I don't like steep climbs. Alright guys, we just finished up with the culvert down there, and then Jay and I listened to Andy's private train go by on the other side of the river. We couldn't see it from here. For some reason that OCS eludes me with filming it. I'll get it someday, guys. But Jay has something that he found that he wants to show us first. And this was also in his video. We got a foundation from a structure. We don't know what the reason for it would have been. But you can see right down there, there's a brick chimney that fell in and metal something. It looks like a trash can, probably not part of the original building. There's that brick chimney down there. It's obviously been abandoned quite a long while, as we've got some pretty big trees growing up out of it. I don't know how high that one goes, but there's the top of it.
It goes down pretty deep.
Okay. We got a hole in the nature's carpet covered foundation here. It goes down pretty deep. We don't know if that was a pipe for the chimney or for something else at some point. It almost looks like it could have been some sort of utility building for the railroad.
We originally thought maybe a home site, but we don't think so just because of the location of it. So we think something related to the railroad of sorts, whether it was just a station, watchman's house, or...
Wonder if it even could have been maybe some kind of pumping station, given that the culvert is right over there.
There is another foundation about 50 yards along the road that we're on, much smaller than this. So something was going on, you know, where they were here for a reason, but we just it's too far back to know.
Pretty cool, guys. You never know what's off the path unless you actually leave the path and go exploring. Okay, and Jay and I have stopped at Buttermilk Falls. This is one of the scenic highlights of this trip. You can see a lot of people stop. And we're just north of Rockport, which is also the major rest stop midway through this ride. We're going to take some photos while we're here. Okay, so we did our photography and videography at Buttermilk Falls, and we decided now, since nobody was using this picnic bench, we're going to stop here for our lunch break. This is approximately the halfway point in the trip back to Jim Thorpe. Usually it's crowded with people. Today it's actually on the quiet side, and we're going to have lunch here with the beautiful Buttermilk Falls as our backdrop. And then I'll show you after we have our lunch, there's an official rest stop up in Rockport where there's bathrooms. There's actually a trailhead with parking for cars. It's pretty much the only access point between Tannery and Glen Onoko, at least easy access point. But we'll take our quick lunch break and then we will resume our trip.